Hello, everyone. My name is Caitlin Sylvester, and I'm co-director of the NCCRT, and welcome to the 2022 pre-session for our Public Awareness and Social Media Strategic Priority Team. This is just really laying the groundwork for what we'll build upon at the in-person meeting on November 16th. We hope that this meeting, as well as our in-person session, will be a place where you can learn, have an opportunity to ask questions of our chairs, but also of your peers, as we work to tackle these issues to help us achieve our goal of 80% of our community. So before we dive in, I just want to go over some quick housekeeping. I'd like to remind you that this call is being recorded. We're also going to post it later to our website so people can re-listen and prepare themselves for the annual meeting. We'd also like this call to be interactive and as engaging as possible. You know, since we have a small group, we want to hear from you. I'm going to ask you right now to put yourselves on mute, but if you have a question to ask or a comment to share, please feel free to come off of mute and have your video on. It's always nice when we can get to see each other. We also have a chat feature. So if you're unable to come off of mute or you just want to make a quick comment, please feel free to use our chat box. Yvonne and I will be monitoring it, so we'll make sure to circle back. We can go to the next slide, Yvonne. All right, so since we have a small group today, I thought we could quickly do a round robin and introduce ourselves. So again, I will go first. My name is Caitlin Sylvester, co-director of the NCCRT. I'm from New Orleans, Louisiana. And what is my favorite Thanksgiving side dish? I really love a good au gratin potato, or really anything smothered and covered in cheese is always going to be my favorite thing. So I will pass to our chair, Dr. Dave Greenwald.
Hi, everybody. All right, I'm so glad I see a bunch of people have joined. That's terrific. And like Caitlin says, we're both excited to do this call today, and then we're really excited to do the in-person meeting in a couple of weeks. So I'm hoping that everybody gets from this, exchange a little bit of an overview of what we're thinking for this committee, sort of raise the enthusiasm level up even higher than it already might be, and we'll move forward from there. So, and I'm really pleased to meet all of you. I was just kind of looking. I mean, I know some of you, but not all of you. So it's a good chance to get to know everybody. So yeah, Dave Greenwald, where am I from? I live in New Jersey. I work at Mount Sinai in New York City as a gastroenterologist. Fortunate to head up our endoscopy and clinical activities. I was also really fortunate to be president of the American College of Gastroenterology last year, and I head up C5, which is the citywide colorectal cancer control coalition for New York City. I've been a member of the NCCRT Roundtable and co-chair of this committee for a lot of years now. Right now, I'm the only chair, but we'll see about that going forward. Anyway, those are all the organizations I represent. There are a couple others, but it doesn't matter. My favorite Thanksgiving side dish, my mother-in-law makes these potatoes, which are similar to Caitlin's au gratin potatoes. We've, as a family, decided you're only allowed to have them twice a year because you would clearly die of heart disease the next day if you ate them every day. But Thanksgiving is one of the days that the potatoes are allowed. So, I only have like the tiniest little bit because I feel like I'm going to die seriously if I eat a lot of it. But I suppose that's my favorite Thanksgiving side dish. The only problem with this, since it's recorded, is that that's not my mother, that's my mother-in-law. So my mother makes this really cool cranberry sauce for Thanksgiving that I've actually made many years in a row also. So that would be my co-favorite Thanksgiving side dish. There's no chance that my mother will ever listen to this recording, but if I get blackmailed that way, I'm safe. Okie doke, that's more information than you probably needed to know. Where do we go now, Caitlin?
Let's pass to Emily and then we'll go to Yvonne.
Hey everyone, so thank you so much for joining and really, really excited to see you in a couple weeks. I'm the co-director of NCCRT alongside Caitlin. I'm from Texas, but live in Salem, Massachusetts. And favorite Thanksgiving side dish, that's a tough one, but I'm gonna go with stuffing because I love stuffing and it's not something I make other times of the year. And I'll pass to Yvonne.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Yvonne Lopez. I am the program manager for the NCCRT, and I echo all the excitement that everyone's been sharing. We look forward to seeing you. My favorite Thanksgiving side dish, I think I agree with Emily. Stuffing is one of my favorite side dishes because we don't make it often. But then I also really love Puerto Rican rice. It's delicious. I have it often, but it always goes really well with turkey. And I'll pass it along to Caitlin so we can start meeting all of you.
Yeah, so why don't we just go around next, Alan? I'll pass it to you, and then we'll go Andrea and then Brendan.
Hi, everyone. I am Andrea Luker, and I am from New Jersey. I actually live down at the Jersey Shore, not anywhere near where that television show is, and nor does anyone I know act like that. So I just wanted to clarify that. I am the director of marketing for the oncology franchise at Quest Diagnostics. And I'm very excited to be here. Myself and my colleagues, we've been very involved in NCCRT for a while. Monica Lansbury and I were part of the NCCRT Black and African American People Messaging Guidebook. And it was an honor to have been a part of it, as well as a great learning. So I'm looking forward to what this committee will do. My favorite Thanksgiving side dish, and you've actually made me very hungry, so thank you, Caitlin, for asking this question, is cranberry sauce. Like this homemade like cranberry sauce my mom makes. And some of you, depending upon if you live in the Northeast, New Jersey actually has really great cranberries and cranberry bogs that we have. So it's really fresh cranberries, and cranberry sauce can go on everything and anything. So it's just my absolute favorite, especially when it's homemade. So thank you.
Thank you for that. My mom is actually from New Jersey, and I did not know that cranberries were such a thing up there. So we've all learned something today. I want to circle back and see, Alan, if you're able to come off of mute and say hello, and then we'll go to Brendan and then Tracy.
Hi, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Awesome. So I'm Alan Thorson from Omaha, Nebraska. I'm a colon and rectal surgeon, actually retired from clinical practice, so I'm not operating now. I am a past president of the American Cancer Society and the ACS CAN, past president of the American Society of Colon and Rectal Surgeons. So now I'm just not operating, just doing more volunteer stuff like that. So this is our first year as part of the roundtable. I represent, I'm president of the Nebraska Cancer Coalition. It's our first year being membership here. And we're excited to come. My associate, Tamara Robinson, is going to be making a presentation in a couple of weeks. So I'm excited for that to happen. Really happy to be here, hoping to learn a lot. And my favorite Thanksgiving side dish has to be my wife's dressing or stuffing. So we still do the stuff you're not supposed to do anymore, actually stuff the turkey, you know, like that's supposed to be dangerous, but we've survived all these years. So we're still doing that. And it's no stovetop, nothing like that. It's a homemade dressing, stuffing. It's awesome. Thanks.
Sounds great.
Wonderful.
All right. Hello. Oh, hey, I'm Brendan Comiskey. I am in Jacksonville, Florida, and I am the president of Dalton. We are fortunate enough to be supporting NCCRT with social media, communication, some suggestions along the way for improving, the website and other marketing communication efforts. We are super pleased to be helping to reach the 80% in every community. One of the people on our social media team, Hannah Volkerts, who has been working very closely with the NCCRT team, will be speaking at the conference. I'll be there as well, so we are looking forward to that. As many of us, my favorite dish harkens back to my mother's cooking. She makes the best mashed potatoes. As I got older, I learned why. I think it's all the butter she puts in there, but it's worth every single bite. So it's great to meet everyone.
Good afternoon. I'm Tracy Lewis with the Colorectal Cancer Prevention Network at the University of South Carolina. And my favorite Thanksgiving side dish would probably be a broccoli salad, which has just broccoli and raisins and green apples and red onion and some mayonnaise and vinegar, salt and pepper. It's just fresh and kind of more of the I get you some, 5 of your vegetables all in one dish in some fashion form versus, and it's sweet. So that's the other thing. It's not just raw vegetables. It's got a hint of sweetness. So that's one of my favorite things. But one of the favorite things people want me to make and bring to Thanksgiving dinner is my homemade cheesecake. So that is one thing that I make every year for Thanksgiving is cheesecake. So
well, those are opposite ends of the spectrum, but both sound wonderful.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, we'll go Melissa, Sandy, and then Brian.
Hi, my name is Melissa Imperial. I'm the Senior Marketing Manager for Quest Diagnostics. I get the pleasure of working with Andrea Luker, who you met earlier. I am new to NCCRT, so I'm really looking forward to the coming weeks and being there in person. I'm based out of St. Louis, Missouri, and my favorite Thanksgiving dish, I would say, would be my grandmother's homemade stuffing. And then also I am one of the few that sit there and eat the Brussels sprouts that my aunt roasts. So I'm really looking forward to it, but more importantly, looking forward to meeting all of you.
I'm Sandy Smith. I lead marketing for AmSurge. We do, among other things, a lot of colonoscopies, more than anybody else in the country. So this will be my second NCCRT in-person meeting. I'm excited to be with you all. We'll have twice as many people this time as we did, was it 3 years ago, 4 years ago? There's a time warp called the pandemic. I lose track of time. So I'm the only one. In terms of Thanksgiving, I was having a hard time deciding between stuffing and cranberries because they're both real faves. I will say, now that I know about New Jersey, because I'm based out of Nashville, so I am the cranberry maker. So if anybody showed up with a bag of Jersey cranberries, I'd be really grateful. I'll be on the lookout for you. So I'm willing to fly them back with me to Nashville. So anyway, look forward to seeing you guys.
Hey everyone, Brian Gettle. I'm Associate Director of Advocacy at Exact Sciences. I'm based in Iowa City. Very much look forward to seeing you all in a couple weeks. And I'm very much on Team Stuffing. I would actually volunteer to be the captain of Team Stuffing. I have a family reputation of putting inappropriate amounts of it on my plate every Thanksgiving and going back for more. So that is without a doubt the top of the list for me.
Wonderful. And I think we got everybody. If I'm missing anyone, please let me know. But Yvonne, I think we can move to the next slide. And I think I probably echo what a lot of other people are feeling. I'm very hungry and looking forward to the holidays coming up. So before we move into learning more about the public awareness and social media team, I want to quickly let everybody know that our 2023 80% Every Community National Achievement Award nomination is now open. So we are seeking nominations. Please submit those by November 22nd. And we'll share some more information in our follow-up email following this presentation today. And we can go to the next slide. All right, and I now will pass over to our chair, Dr. Dave Greenwald.
Hi, that's cool. Thank you all. So, all right, so first of all, I think we need to have a roving meeting instead of the one that's fixed in Baltimore, where we kind of like fly around the country to everybody's recipes. It'll be like, one of those like bar crawls, but we'll do it with, Thanksgiving stuff. It sounds really good. Second of all, what was said about New Jersey is true. There are a zillion cranberries, not where I live, but in the southern part of New Jersey. We will be bringing cranberries, I am sure, to the meeting. I just put it on my list of things to do. So it's a good thing. And third thing is if anybody, needs to practice, our meeting's about a week before Thanksgiving. So if you want to practice anything, I'm thinking cheesecake, that, you just bring it along and we'll sample and let you know if it's poison or not. So there you go. All right. So what are we going to do? Basically, honestly, what Caitlin and I and the rest of the team wanted everybody to do was meet each other. So we've accomplished that task to begin with. There are more people in our action group, but we'll be the core group for today and we'll meet the rest that day. So some of you are new to this. A couple of you have done this before. So, in the 15 minutes we have, I just want to basically highlight a couple of, the strategic priority teams and their importance. We'll show you a framework in a minute of how this all fits together. We'll talk about our team in particular, some objectives and expectations, and I would love some feedback on things that you might think are important to cover during our meeting. I have one that I'll add to the agenda, and then we'll talk about questions that we have. So you can go to the next slide. Okay, so the 80% in every community campaign, this all started with 80%, 80% by 2018, right? So 2018 came and went. As Caitlin and Emily and the rest know, like I was really, really passionate about this 80% by 2018 campaign. And we did great. There are, the naysayers around the world who said we never got to 80%, but I think that that's actually wrong. We got to 80% in lots of places. It's just how you define things. So if you take the population of the United States and look at up to date on screening, we're in the high 60% now, up from 30 and 40% a couple of decades ago. So we've made major progress. And we've shown that we can decrease the rates of colorectal cancer and decrease the rates of death from colorectal cancer pretty dramatically over the past couple of decades. And that's going to continue with a small interruption from that pandemic that you were all talking about before. Anyway, so 2018 came and went. That's okay, because we did an amazing thing. But the 80% successes, which we were talking about in 2018, had to do with the idea that you could find 80% of any given population that had been screened, and that was a win. So that could be in a community, which ultimately was what this campaign became named, was any place you looked, right? So it could be your family, it could be where you worked, it doesn't have to be a geographic place, it could be your church, it could be your temple, it could be your sports teams, it could be anything, right? So I love the fact that this transitioned then into 80% in every community, because to me, that's a very enduring thing. So our group, is all focused on how we're gonna get that message out to everybody, right? So what have we done in the past? We've promoted dialogue in these emerging topics, developed these project ideas, identified topics for Blue Star conversations. Some of the members participated in advisory committees. We've, disseminated resources and relevant information. This is, I think, our big task, because NCCRT has lots of different people working on lots of different things. And our group, public awareness and social media, really sort of overarches all of them. We can spread the word on what everybody else is doing, in addition to have our own initiatives. So identify opportunities to promote the work of NCCRT. So go on. So this is how NCCRT fits together. So if you look on the left, you see focus areas, and then you see the 4 different focus areas: assess and building capacity, mobilizing at touch points, catalyzing healthcare systems, and breaking down barriers. The strategic priority teams, so again on the left, used to be called task groups, but they're really not tasks, they're priority teams. And you see all of them sort of grayed out along the right: communities, community, family history and early age, health systems and providers, community health centers, policy action. Public awareness and social media spans a number of those focus areas. And I actually, if I drew this up, I would have us sort of going over all of them. And then there are advisories and working groups in NCCRT as well. Next. Okay, so already mentioned was the 2022 messaging guidebook for Black and African American people. This is, for those of you not in the know, there are a number of these guidebooks that have been put out over the past decade that have been incredibly impactful, and they recognize the idea that there are barriers to screening in every community, but those barriers are different for different communities, so that if you're going to try to reach the unscreened, the third of the population that is unscreened and not up to date with screening, that you have to get at those groups with different messages for the different groups if you want to be most effective. And NCCRT has done an amazing job at not just saying what you and I think are the messages that are going to reach, for example, the Black and African American people, but doing focus groups, going into the communities and really asking the people in those various communities, what resonates with them, and then putting out messaging guidebooks to give the answers out. And it's an incredible resource, both for NCCRT and for other groups like the American College of Gastroenterology is talking about, where we've linked together to use the messages that NCCRT put together for other campaigns outside of NCCRT. So that's basically the guidebook, just to highlight. Next. Right, the annual meeting, you all know, is between the 16th. So our task group is going to meet on Wednesday, the 16th. The meeting is on Thursday. That's a Wednesday. The meeting is on Thursday and Friday, November 17th and 18th. It's at a Sheraton on the Inner Harbor in Baltimore. It's nice. It's right near the water. There's lots of cool stuff to do there. And our strategic priority team meeting will be from 3:30 to 5. Next. You know, one of the big highlights is making sure that screening reaches everyone, that the efforts lead to increasing health equity. You know, in addition to already existing inequities in healthcare in general and colorectal cancer screening in particular, the pandemic, you know, inequitably affected different ethnic groups and racial groups. So there are a lot of efforts going on right now to make sure that those inequities are being addressed. And our task group has the ability, you know, to put forth agendas that will help that along. Supporting on-time screening as soon as people become eligible. So you're all aware that screening recommendations from a variety of sources, including the United States Preventative Services Task Force, moved down from 50 to 45, which means that we have a large swath of the population now that needs some information about that. And even equally important, we have a lot of people who are older than that, but have still not come in for screening or are due for another screening and are not on time. So, you know, our group, again, can have impact there. And then this last issue is becoming increasingly important. So, you know, as we push the world, United States in particular, to use both colonoscopy and stool-based testing, the follow-up of stool-based testing, which ultimately needs a colonoscopy if it's positive to try to find the reason why it's positive, those conversion rates and doing it in a timely way is becoming an increasingly important issue. So those are 3 big areas for our group. Next. All right, so what are we going to do during our in-person meeting? A little bit more of the team building stuff that we just did, which will be fun with, you know, sampling different foods. And I think we're going to have, you know, like, we don't going to have our little ice bucket challenge. We're going to have our like cheesecake challenge and cranberry challenge. I love it. I'd like to think that we'll spend some time talking about upcoming March activities. What we've done in the past is talked about what specific groups within the room are doing and what people know that other groups are doing. We've been fortunate as a roundtable to have a signature March event each year. We don't have a signature March event planned right now, so it's an opportunity 6 months out to really come up with something that will be impactful and easy to share on social media because it's so important these days. Review some strategies and again, generate activity and ideas for the upcoming year. Next slide. And these are the, you know, just a sort of the last slide actually to just show you what the qualities of a successful NCCRT activity are. The 2 that I think I want to highlight for this group are impactful, so likely to make a measurable impact on CRC screening rates, and feasible. You know, so there's a budget, there are realities, and we want to do things that have a, you know, reasonable timeline and so forth. So we're 2 weeks away. We'll see you in a couple of Wednesdays. Caitlin, do you have any other thoughts or?
No, just that we'll send a follow-up email. We'll share this slide deck so you have all the information and some of the links that we talked about today. And yeah, we're really seeing you guys on the 16th.
Great. And let me just express my appreciation to Caitlin and the NCCRT staff who are ridiculous at getting this all together. So thank you to everybody and bye.